Burkina Faso, a country in West Africa that has seen political turmoil, coups, and leadership struggles for decades. But in 2022, a young military officer named Ibrahim Traoré shocked the world by seizing power and becoming Africa's youngest leader. Who is this man? How did he rise from being an unknown artillery officer to the face of resistance against colonial influence, jihadist threats, and Western domination? And most importantly, what does his leadership mean for Burkina Faso and for Africa's future? Stay with us as we dive deep into the dramatic story of how Ibrahim Traoré took power in Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traoré was born in 1998 in the Mohound province of Burkina Faso. Growing up in a modest family, he was shaped by the struggles his people faced: poverty, insecurity, and political instability. From a young age, Traoré dreamed of serving his country. He studied hard and eventually entered the University of Ouagadougou, where he pursued geology. But soon, destiny called him to the military academy. It was here that Traoré learned discipline, strategy, and the spirit of sacrifice. He rose through the ranks quickly, joining the artillery corps. His colleagues described him as disciplined, calm under pressure, and deeply patriotic. To understand Traoré's rise, we must first understand Burkina Faso's crisis. Since 2015, the country has been plagued by jihadist insurgencies linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Villages were attacked, thousands were killed, and over 1 million people were displaced. The government of Roch-Marc Christian Kabore, elected in 2015, struggled to handle the crisis. Corruption, weak governance, and lack of trust in the army worsened the situation. By 2022, Burkinabe citizens had lost hope. It was in this climate of frustration and fear that the military stepped in, promising security, dignity, and sovereignty. In January 2022, Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba staged a coup, overthrowing President Kabore. Many citizens welcomed the move, believing it would bring stability. But Damiba's leadership disappointed. The jihadist attacks continued. People accused him of being too close to France, the former colonial power, and of ignoring the suffering of ordinary Burkinabe. It was during this time that a young captain, Ibrahim Traoré, began gaining respect within the army. Soldiers admired his bravery at the front lines, unlike some officers who stayed behind in comfort. By September 2022, the people and many soldiers had lost confidence in Damiba. Rumors spread that he was secretly negotiating with jihadists and protecting French interests. On September 30, 2022, gunfire erupted in the capital Ouagadougou. Military convoys blocked roads and the national TV was seized. The world watched in suspense. That evening, Captain Ibrahim Traoré appeared on television, calm and determined. He announced that Damiba had been removed, the constitution suspended, and a new chapter was beginning. The young captain, only 34 years old, became Africa's youngest leader overnight. Traoré's rise was not just a military takeover, it was a symbol of African youth rejecting foreign control. Crowds filled the streets waving Russian and Burkinabe flags, chanting against France. Traoré promised to put the people first, to fight terrorism with new strategies, and to strengthen ties with other African nations. He joined the wave of Pan-African leaders like Mali's Assimi Goïta and Guinea's Mamadi Doumbouya, who also rejected Western influence. Together, they formed a new bloc of young leaders calling for African sovereignty, unity, and independence. But taking power is one thing, keeping it is another. Traoré faces enormous challenges. Terrorist insurgencies that continue to attack villages. Humanitarian crises with millions displaced. Pressure from international powers who fear losing influence in the Sahel. Economic struggles as sanctions and instability weigh heavily on the nation. Despite these difficulties, many citizens still see Traoré as a symbol of hope, a leader unafraid to speak against neocolonialism, and willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with his people. Traoré's leadership marks a turning point not only for Burkina Faso, but for the entire African continent. His rise shows that youth and determination can challenge the old order. But the question remains, will he succeed in bringing peace, prosperity, and sovereignty, or will Burkina Faso fall into the cycle of coups and instability once again? And that is the dramatic story of how Ibrahim Traoré took power in Burkina Faso. What do you think, is Traoré the hero Burkina Faso has been waiting for, or just another soldier in Africa's endless cycle of coups? Backhand index pointing right. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Backhand index pointing right. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into Africa's untold stories. And hit the notification bell, because the story of Africa's rising leaders is just beginning, and you don't want to miss it.